From the Alex Trebek stage at Sony Picture Studios, this is Inside Jeopardy!
Hello and welcome back to Inside Jeopardy, your exclusive and official podcast destination for all things happening in the world of Jeopardy! I'm Sarah Foss, and I'm joined by a very pumped up Buzzy Cohen. You really were building the hype as I did that intro.
We're here. It's Monday morning somewhere, and we are just trying to get people through this week.
Yes, let's be honest. 4th of July is tomorrow, but we are doing this pod a few days early because we've got some celebrating to do. Where are you headed for the 4th, Buzz?
I don't know if you remember this, but I celebrate 4th of July out in the desert in Palm Springs, where it is swelteringly hot. But we do that because there is
no fireworks
and
the
fireworks
dogs.
and the dogs. So I have a very sensitive dog who does not like the fireworks. Anyone who lives in the LA area knows that the fireworks start around mid-May. So she's been suffering, but we go out to the desert because there's no fireworks.
Well, that is going to be fun. Michigan.
Ooh.
Yeah, a little Midwest lake life.
Yes, going back to your roots.
Yes, well, not really my roots.
Not your roots, but
my local news
your
days
local
in
news
Michigan.
days, exactly.
Yes.
Upper Michigan, is that right?
Yeah, yes, going back there. My best friend and her husband and their 2 kids live there, so we're doing some lake life, and
That'll
I can't
be
wait.
Gorgeous. That sounds very American. Like I'm imagining like Don Draper and the kids going out to the lake and like drinking some beers out of the ice-box and
bomb pops,
playing pinochle.
A little pinochle. Well, a little cornhole maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds
close
fun.
enough. Close enough. But alas, we want to bring the podcast to our listeners every week. So we recorded this a few days early, but now that you're listening to it on Monday, July 3rd, happy early 4th of July. Hope that everyone is enjoying some great summer plans.
And if for some reason you're not listening to this the moment it comes out, happy 4th of July, happy late 4th of July. It's all good.
Happy summer.
We are
just
be happy. Don't worry.
Loving summer. You know, just a week ago, here we were on the pod talking about Pat Sajak stepping down after his 41st season. Who will take the reins? Who could ever replace him?
Who will grab the wheel, if you will?
Oh, grab the wheel. Take it for a spin. Turns out the decision has been made.
I love it.
Ryan Seacrest.
Yes, congratulations.
An early front runner. A lot of people had been talking about him, and obviously he is now officially the host. He released a really nice statement just saying how humbled he was to be stepping into the footsteps of the legendary Pat Sajak. I think, he talked about watching it for years, an unprecedented 40 years watching Pat and Vanna together, and now it will, of course, be Ryan and Vanna. I think it's a great combination.
Yeah, my friend Louis Vertel, who many people on the pod may know from his podcast Keep It, or possibly from his Jeopardy appearance.
We know him from that. Yeah. And he was on the Game Show Show.
He was on the Game Show Show, that's right. I enjoyed him describing Ryan as a consonant professional.
Oh, perfect.
Little wordplay for you on Monday
it.
morning.
And Pat Sajak tweeted as well, I'm looking forward to my final season starting this fall and then handing over the car keys to Ryan Seacrest in September of 2024. I love that this is going to be, as seamless of a transition as one can have.
Yes.
Other shows may have done it a bit differently.
Yeah.
I think Wheel's onto something.
Yeah, Seacrest in.
That was my line. I actually texted that to Jimmy McGuire when the announcement came in. I said, "Hey Jimmy, Seacrest in."
And Jimmy's going to get to work closely with him.
He will, as the stage manager of both Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy. He'll be side by side.
We've got a while. We've got a whole season before that happens, but I would be interested to hear from old Jimmy McGuire on what it's like to, now he's worked with a ton of different people hosting, and what's that like, and how do you navigate different personalities, different styles? Everyone's allowed to have their own style, and Jimmy's a thoughtful guy when it comes to that, so it'll be interesting to hear his insight. We might not be able to share it on Inside Jeopardy, but I'm just curious for myself.
And you're able to hear from Jimmy and his insight in this recent episode of This Is Jeopardy, Buzzy.
That is right. We did a whole episode on the Clue Crew. I know, for Inside Jeopardy insiders who listen to the podcast so much, we love you. You heard my 2-part interview with my co-host Sarah and Jimmy earlier this season, but this was more about, we talked to people who were part of the show then. We talked to Harry Friedman, who this was kind of his idea.
Yes.
We do hear your stories in a slightly different way, but also kind of about how it all came about. So for those of you who are not yet listening to This Is Jeopardy, just another reason you get to hear Sarah and Jimmy.
Another reason. It was a fun trip down memory lane because they needed some supporting materials.
Yes.
So Jimmy and I whipped out our audition videos.
Yes.
So you're going to hear clips from those. And you've heard the famous, Jimmy Shark story, how he was in the tank with the giant shark and he didn't want to do it. Well, we actually found the behind the scenes footage of when the moment happened when he was like, Whitty, can you do this one? Like, I'm not doing this one. And I went on to do the shark clue. So it was really fun for me to kind of relive some of those memories from so many years ago, pulling out that old footage and just thinking, boy, we were kids. We were little kids.
Yeah, we should see if the social team will. We should see if the social team will post maybe little clips of that.
Oh yeah, that could be good.
I'll send someone an email that will not be read because who am I? But anyway, you bring up something that's so great. Obviously, we know so much about the show Jeopardy, but one of the really great things about this podcast is, as you're saying, getting to hear these moments happening again. Even just for me, getting to hear the promo of Alex and Johnny Gilbert saying, like, we're looking for people to join the team. Like,
hey.
That's like the promo that I heard that got me to audition for the show, and just thinking, like, getting to kind of be back in that moment of thinking about you and Jimmy sitting at home, or, you talk about where you heard about it, but, Jimmy sitting in the hotel room seeing that promo and getting to hear the actual promo. So fun.
It was fun. Take a listen.
Check it out wherever you get your podcasts.
I came across something on Reddit that really made me smile the other day. Someone was talking about how much joy they find when a contestant rings in and has some sort of personal connection to a clue. They referenced a recent clue on Celebrity where Patton Oswalt rang in and said, "What is William and Mary?" Because that is, of course, the college that he went to. And he was like, "Take that, Mayim." But it does happen over time.
Sure.
Did you have any instances of that coming in where you were able to ring in or not able to ring in during your run on something that was personal?
Yeah, there was one in my initial run. It was a question, and it was basically asking for the Leeward Islands. And I had told Alex, actually, that I had worked on some sailboats in the Caribbean, and so I was very familiar with the Leeward Islands. So I called it my Slumdog Millionaire moment.
Oh, see, I love that. And people often, when those moments happen, they think, oh my goodness, quiz show scandals, this is rigged. But it really is an extraordinary coincidence when something like that happens, because we prepare 6 games for every tape day.
Yeah.
Only 5 will be played. They're picked at random.
You also don't know who's going to be playing in which game.
We don't know who's playing. The contestant department is completely separate from the writing. Our member of Standards and Practices actually selects the 5 games and the random order in with which they will be played.
Yes.
Then you have the contestants selected randomly on another pool. So when those circumstances occur, it really is quite something. I remember back in the early Clue Crew days, let's see. I've got the stats here. It was actually December 10th, 2001.
Wow, right there, right when the Clue
in the
Crew...
beginning, the first 6 months of my Jeopardy journey. So let me set the scene for you, Buzzy. I'm at the Orange County Fair. I'm standing in front of a Ferris wheel. I've got a brightly colored outfit. We wore really bright colors in the early Clue
Yes,
Crew
I remember
days.
that.
Turquoise, hot pink, you name it. I'm dressed. I look like a lollipop or maybe some cotton candy at the fair. And I present the following clue in a stupid answers category. Last name of the engineer who built the first Ferris wheel. Our champion, Bill O'Donnell, rings in and he says, "Who is my grandfather, George Ferris?" I nearly fell out of my chair. I couldn't believe it. People are going to think the Clue Crew is collaborating with contestants, but no, it just happens sometimes.
That's incredible.
Still one of my favorite stories.
And I did love that afterwards Alex said, it's not just a stupid answer, it's a stupid answer within the family. And that's great.
Right. See, those are the kind of quips that Alex could come up with right in the moment. So anyway, Bill O'Donnell went on to win that game as well. 2-day champion, all thanks to his grandfather. Actually, his great-grandfather. Alex even corrected him in the moment because he was like, really, it's just your grandfather? Like, I think you look a little young, Bill. And he said, oh, my great-grandfather. So all thanks to that, Bill goes on to be a 2-day champion in Jeopardy history. We have some fun news for our listeners. We wanted to do something a little special here on the pod during our upcoming summer reruns, and as we wrap up the end of season 39. Hard to believe we're wrapping up another season, but we thought it would be great to catch up with some of our recent Jeopardy greats. So over the next 8 weeks, you will get to hear from our primetime Jeopardy masters, those season 39 TOC competitors, Sam Buttrey, Amy Schneider, Andrew He, Matt Amodio, and Mateo Roach. Plus, we'll also be checking in with season 39 standouts Chris Panullo, Ray Lalonde, and Ben Chan. It's going to be fun. Stay tuned for those interviews. They're starting next week.
Cannot wait to catch up with our masters and maybe some future masters, at least some TOC competitors. Should be interesting to hear what's been going on since they've been on the show.
Yeah, what's life like after
Sitting
masters?
there in limbo.
Or for those season 39 folks just waiting for that TOC, watching the field build.
Yes.
What's it feel like? What are they doing to prepare? We're going to ask all the questions.
Yes.
Speaking of questions, we know there are a lot of questions circling about season 40. You know, people want to know the impact of the writer's strike, possible new formats, our structure for the postseason tournaments. Well, we're still finalizing all of our plans, but executive producer Michael Davies and I will be sharing all the details with you on the pod in the coming weeks. It's why we have this podcast. We want to give the news to our listeners, to our Jeopardy fans, as soon as we have news to share. So stay tuned for that. But right now, we've got highlights from last week's games.
Let's do it.
Cue the beep boops. We kicked off the week with returning champion Donna Matori going for her second win up against Ryan Clary and Caroline Gulick. Caroline took an early lead in the Jeopardy round with 12 correct responses and the Daily Double, but both Donna and Ryan turned it up in Double Jeopardy, splitting the Daily Doubles, heading into final with 5-digit scores with Donna in the lead. Both came up with the correct response. It was Donna, though, who earned a second win.
Yeah, very interesting wagering here from Ryan and Donna. I think I've put it together that Donna was basically betting so that if she got it wrong, she could still beat Caroline, doubling up if she got it right. But her wager didn't cover Ryan betting everything. So there's a lot of interesting kind of game theory that we're starting to see trickle into these final Jeopardy wagers. But Donna, congratulations. Big win. Congratulations on that second win.
And Ryan Clary, a cheesemonger from Chattanooga, Tennessee. I couldn't love him more.
Yeah.
I love cheese. I wanted the interview to go on so much longer because I wanted to know more about a day in the life of a cheesemonger. But we did get to hear that things he does in his job include, selling artisan cheese, serving it, knowing how to prepare it, knowing the good mold from the bad mold. He even earned a scholarship to France to learn about cheese.
I think we should have Ryan come back and present a category on cheese.
Good idea, but only if there are samples.
Only if there are samples, yeah. Or if not, Ryan, maybe this is maybe we can find out who Ryan is the protege of and find the cheese master to present a round on cheese for the next Masters tournament.
The master to the monger.
The master monger.
Ah, I like it. Okay. Well, as you know, during the commercial breaks, either of our hosts, Mayim or Ken, whoever's hosting that day, does answer questions from our audience. And on this particular day, it was April 14th, day after Passover. People were like, Mayim, what is your favorite meal to break Passover with? She says pizza.
Interesting.
Buzzy, what's your favorite?
It's funny because in my day-to-day life, as you may or may not know, I'm not a big, huge bread eater.
You're not a big carb guy.
Yeah, I'm not a big carb guy. And when I do have carbs, I usually have rice, which in the Sephardic tradition, which my wife is half Sephardic, rice is okay for Passover, whereas the Ashkenazic, it is not okay. It's kind of a long, convoluted history. So I don't feel like a big, I need to break Passover thing, but pizza sounds great any day of the week. Maybe going to the deli for something with some rye bread as like a little treat. But Passover is kind of business as usual for me.
All right. Well, I love a good pizza.
Who doesn't?
I love a good pizza. We do pizza popcorn movie night on Friday.
Yeah.
So,
that's fun.
Yeah.
Do you make your own pizzas or do you order in?
Well, we order in, but the kids just last week were like, hey, Mom, Dad, can we make pizza? And Chris and I thought, we have a pizza stone that was a wedding gift 11 years ago. We should break that thing out.
Can I give you a pro tip here?
Absolutely.
Go to Italy and buy the dough.
Buy their dough.
Buy their dough. And then you just roll it out and throw it on your
on your pizza stone.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay. Well,
save yourself some time.
Maybe, coming off of the 4th of July fun, maybe it's going to be a pizza popcorn movie night. But moving on to Tuesday, Donna returning to face Aaron Gold and Chris Bann. Donna and Aaron were neck and neck after the Jeopardy round, while Chris trailed with -600. But Chris found his stride in Double Jeopardy with the help of a daily double, and all 3 of our players went into final within $800 of each other. We love to see it. Chris was the only one to come up with the correct response, topping off a great come-from-behind win over our 2-game champion, Donna.
Well, I did not specifically have not watched this show because I was told by podcast producer Carlos that you wanted to quiz me on a particular category.
Well, yes, I did. Because it reminded me so much of you when I saw it. The category, just like you, Buzzy, it came from New Jersey.
Like so many of the greatest things.
Are we ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, for $200.
Yes.
Category, it came from New Jersey. We rule that Samuel Alito and Antonin Scalia came from this state capital.
What is Trenton, New Jersey?
You're correct. $200 for you. And now, would you like to stick with this category?
Yes, please.
Right.
For $400.
All right. Songs in this Broadway show include Walk Like a Man and Big Girls Don't Cry.
What is Jersey Boys?
That is correct. Way back when we did a tournament at Radio City Music Hall, the Jersey Boys came out and presented a clue live on the stage.
That is so cool.
And they couldn't make it to the rehearsal, so the Clue crew had to be the stand-in Jersey Boys. That's about the closest I came to singing those songs, but I sure enjoyed it. All right, $600?
$600, please. Stay in the category.
An origin story of this candy involves the sweets in an Atlantic City shop being flooded by the ocean.
What is saltwater taffy?
That is correct. Love a good saltwater taffy.
Yeah.
For $800.
For $800, please.
Yes, okay. It was actually a trio of brothers who founded this New Brunswick-based healthcare company in 1886, but it goes by this and this.
What is Johnson & Johnson?
Can he sweep the category?
Finish up the category, please.
James Madison attended the College of New Jersey. Jeff Bezos went to the same school by then called this.
What is Rutgers University?
Oh, I'm sorry. Incorrect.
Princeton?
Yeah.
Ah, son of a biscuit.
Oh, I got a little cocky there in New Jersey, but that was fun.
Yeah.
Well, in this category, someone who did pretty well was Chris, our champion, and he actually pointed up to the sky when he did win. He had talked about earlier in the show losing his brother to cancer last year. Apparently his brother was a great rower, and his high school is building a new boathouse, so Chris is hoping to use his winnings to help build that and name it after his brother.
Really sweet.
He said, I came out here hoping for the warm California weather. Remember, this was taped back in April. We didn't get a sunny day till June 21st. He said, I didn't get that. Was hoping to score some points in the first half. Didn't get that. Remember, he was in the negative.
Yep.
But this was great. And he added that Donna and Caroline were fantastic competitors. Well, Chris returned on Wednesday to face Vic Goyle and Brian White. Brian dominated both rounds with a combined 26 correct responses and a $3,000 daily double, cruising into an impressive runaway win. Final score of $20,130.
Great start. Great game. 15 correct responses and 11 correct responses in the Double Jeopardy round. Really strong numbers for a first outing.
I wish I could say that I remembered more about Brian's gameplay, but really all I can think about is him revealing that he won a hairy chess contest once on a cruise. He said, look, for Jeopardy contestants, it's not all time spent on the ivory tower. Sometimes we got to shake what our mother gives us. I don't think Mayim knew what to say, and so she just responded, I have nothing else to say to you, Brian.
Yeah.
And then even in the end, in the post-game chat, he said he's blown away by his win. It's such a rush. There's all the colors. I'm talking about my hairy chest with Mayim Bialik on TV. I'm blown away to be here.
I want to know how Brian felt watching back himself telling Mayim about his hairy chest.
Yes, because these interview questions, it's not like we come up with them.
No.
Our contestants do supply various fun little stories that we can share.
And if I remember correctly, like the contestant team checks in and it's like, are you cool with talking about all this?
And as do our hosts. Mayim will check in with each of the contestants. Okay, we're talking about your hairy chest, Brian.
Oh, interesting.
Just making sure that she's going to set it up correctly. Alex didn't used to do that.
No, I was going to say you would get blindsided.
Alex had his 3 to 4 facts on his card, and there was no chance he was going to go over it with you. He wanted to catch you as
so the
out
way
of the blue as
the way it would work, I remember it was the contestant team would highlight the one that they thought was the best,
That's still done.
But then Alex would just talk about whatever he thought was interesting.
Oh, yes. He would be like, oh, you highlighted that one. I think I'll go with number 2.
Yeah. So sometimes you'd be ready for something and something else would come. I also heard that sometimes he would have the cards out of order.
Yes.
And if that happened, you were supposed to say, "That's right, Alex," and then
it happened.
And then you would they'd let him keep going
get
so they could
all
edit.
the way through the interviews, and then we would stop, and the person would be like, "I'm sorry, I didn't actually travel to the Taj Mahal," and then we would redo it later.
Exactly.
But
yeah.
yes, it was fun to see. You didn't know in the moment because I didn't have access to the contestant cards, so I didn't know that they weren't telling the real story. But then when you would look back, you're like, "Wow, that was really impressive." And Alex was often impressed. He's like, "You fooled me.
Yeah, exactly.
I thought you had gone there." So that was fun. Well, Brian and his hairy chest head into Thursday. He's going up against Alicia Corriman and Tanisa Santiago. The Jeopardy round was evenly matched, but Brian went on another tear in Double Jeopardy with 11 correct responses. Alicia and Tanisa split the daily doubles, but they were both incorrect, allowing Brian to head into final with a second runaway win in a row. All I think about this game is the fashion.
Oh, my God.
I'm here for it.
Finally,
Brian,
we're back.
He's got a beautiful collared shirt, a nice tie, a lovely sweater.
He's wearing a sweater under and over that shirt, apparently. That's a hairy chest reference. Come on, guys.
That was so good. I'm looking at the picture. I'm going, boy, 2 sweaters. Really? I don't see it. I see it now, buddy. I see it now. And then let's talk about Alicia's sweater. Because it is very cool.
I kind of felt like I was back in The Max.
Oh, Saved by the Bell. That is totally the background of The Max. I love that. I love that so much. And then Tanisa is wearing a bob pin that was given to her by her children for a backpacking trip. And apparently Bob's name is based on the nicknames of her 3 children combined.
But also, I just want to say I love this kind of not quite a jewel tone green, but not an olive, sort of somewhere in between with the blazer over it. Really nice, and also kind of works well with the hair color.
Yeah, and it coordinates perfectly with the bob pin.
Yes.
So just fashion out of the park
10
by
out of 10,
our
no
contestants.
notes.
We love it all. We love it all. And we're heading into Friday, closing out the week with Brian going for his 3rd win up against Courtney Johnston and Elena DiToro. It was a low-scoring game throughout both the Jeopardy and the Double Jeopardy rounds. Brian was able to form a small lead heading into final, but it was still anyone's game. From second place, Elena was the only one to come up with the correct response in final What is Japan, earning her the come-from-behind win over 2-day champion and hairy chest champion Brian White.
Another fun fashion day. Brian back in the suit and tie, kind of trying to bring some formality to the Jeopardy stage here. I'm just loving what people are bringing. Super, super fun game, and I love a come-from-behind win.
Let's cue some more beep boops.
Here are our viewer questions for this week. Ryan asks, I have a question about the ultimate Tournament of Champions. Is there any chance in the future, soon or far, that it may return, or is the Jeopardy Masters, which was amazing, by the way, basically the new Ultimate Tournament of Champions? I also have another question. Ryan, really coming at us back-to-back questions.
I know, back-to-back questions.
Do you have any plans to put the beep boop sounds when the Jeopardy board displays in season 40, or maybe a new think track?
Let me get back to Ryan's first question about the Ultimate Tournament of Champions. That was unlike anything we had ever done before. We obviously just had this system of bringing back people over time from all the different decades, and we got to the final best 3 of all time with that competition. I do think now our competition has evolved because of the way we're formatting the season. We have this postseason that leads us to this TOC. Of course, now we're introducing the JIT, the Jeopardy Invitational Tournament, which is like a component of Ultimate Tournament of Champions, right? We're going to be bringing back some of those greats, classic greats, more recent greats that aren't a part of the existing Masters field. And then we've got Masters. So I think I would like to believe, Ryan, you said that you thought Masters was amazing, which we love, that we are just building almost a better Ultimate Tournament of Champions. The only difference now is you're not going to wait decades to see
to be
these
every
types,
5 years
to see these types of competitions. You know, every year you're getting a TOC, you're getting a Jeopardy Invitational Tournament, and you are getting Masters. So you're getting that high-level play year in and year out. And what's going to be so exciting is to see how the best of the best evolve.
Yes.
Can James stay at the top? Can he be beaten? Who will beat him? And then who will beat them? And it's just a really exciting time in the show. So I think the ultimate TOC, the UTOC.
Yeah. And there was $1 Million Masters, Battle of the Decades, All-Stars that we don't love talking about. A lot of special tournaments that used to be, like you said, every 5 years, every 10 years. Now there's a little more of a rhythm to it. And also, like, as a contestant, obviously the JIT kind of has a little bit of that, like, I don't know if I'll be in the JIT unless you drop down from Masters. But, you know, I know a lot of players would be kind of like, I don't know if I'm going to be in the next, you know, I was in Battle of the Decades. I don't know if I'm going to be in the next, you know, whatever it was, the All-Stars or whatever it was. So
yeah, we'll keep everyone posted. I do also love, we've been seeing a lot of suggestions on our JIT list. Yes, I said the JIT list, not the list. And that's fun. I really have enjoyed getting other people's suggestions. We, of course, have our own list going, and that will be unveiled.
I want to give a list. I want to give a suggestion.
All right, you know, add to the list, Buzzy. Add to the list. The second question that Ryan asked about any plans to put the beep boop sounds back in the Jeopardy board when season 40 debuts. We really feel we found the perfect place for the beep boops, and that is in the open of Masters.
Yeah.
Masters just being this culmination of Jeopardy, the best of the best. And so the beep boops just feel like a really wonderful placement there. I don't think they're going to find their way into the syndicated show on a day in and day out basis, but you never know. And as for a new Think track, nothing is planned right now. We really just love the Think music as it is.
Well, Jenna asks, when Ken and Mayim are reading clues, do they ever mess up and have to start over? Do they ever flub them so much that the question has to be replaced because the contestants have already seen it?
No, our hosts are perfect. They never make any mistakes, and that's it. No. Of course they make mistakes. We are human. They are human. Basically, we tell our contestants to go off the game board. So no matter what the host says, knowing that the clue copy is almost always, should be, totally correct, our contestants are asked to go off of that material. So if the host says something slightly different, the contestant should go based on what the clue reads and come up with their response based on that. Now, there are technical issues that come up sometimes that cause us to have to replace a clue, but it's really not based on a host mess up. It's based on a video clue popping up and the video doesn't play, or a video clue that's supposed to pop up and you see the text of the clue but you don't see the video to support it. So those are the situations where we need to replace it altogether. And in terms of the pickups, as we call them, in between rounds, you know, I'll say to either of our hosts, hey, we need to redo, you know, authors for 200. You accidentally said Martin and it was actually Matthew.
Right.
Not that they would do that.
Well, I think the one exception would be if, for some reason, a host said something that was part of the response.
Yes, accidentally in the clue.
So I did that once when I was guest hosting. We threw out the clue, stopped tape, put a new clue in there.
Yes, and that did happen to Alex occasionally as well. And he would
That's
get
what they
very
said to me,
frustrated.
but I think they were just trying to make me feel better.
No, it really did happen. Once in a great while, it would happen to Alex, and he would laugh, and it would give us one of those, like, genuine, you know, Alex out-of-character moments where he wasn't the consummate professional. But things happen, even in a show like Jeopardy. We run a pretty tight ship, but things do happen, and great questions, Jenna.
That wraps up today's show. Happy Independence Day. Join us next week for more gameplay discussion and our special conversation with Jeopardy master Sam Buttrey.
Oh yeah, bring it. He's our first interview of the summer, and you are not going to want to miss it. As always, make sure to subscribe to the podcast, rate us, leave us a comment, share across social, and follow us at Jeopardy on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube, and on TikTok. And send us your questions to InsideJeopardyPodcast@gmail.com. We'll see you next week.
Have a good one.
Hey, Ken, what's that thing the kids say?
You mean smash the like, subscribe, and bell button so you'll be the first to know when we upload more great videos?
Yeah, that's it. Do that.